I'm well. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Listen, we've spoken with Wayne Dupree. We've spoken with Mona Salama. And the consensus is that usually when people go down to CPAC, they come out really united for the cause, for the conservative movement, and for the Republican Party. From both of them, what I'm hearing is that people are going to be coming out of there divided. Is that the case? Is that the feeling you're feeling down there right now?
You know what? I don't know that I feel that same way, really, to be honest with you. What I saw was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement about the conservative cause, yes. I also saw a lot of unity in the room. I sat in on a couple of panels, and people were really motivated to, get down to the issues, to hear some of the complex things that are going on. And I guess the biggest concern and the divide that you're talking about is possibly the fact that Donald Trump won't be attending tomorrow. And I think a lot of attendees were really looking forward to seeing and hearing from him. And I think that really is kind of causing a wedge, if you will.
Well, that was
Can I ask Erin a question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. This is Mr. Pinko. Go ahead, Mr. Pinko.
Hi, Mr. Pinko.
Hi, Erin. How you doing? I've been to CPAC, and I wanted to ask you: is there a big presence of the Never Trump people, the hashtag Never Trump people? Is there a big presence of that?
No,
really?
I didn't really. I don't think I really saw that. I didn't really see that. No. To be quite honest with you, most of the people who I spoke to, either be it in the restaurants or the breakout groups, they really wanted to hear what Donald Trump had to say. I did talk to one gentleman on the escalator coming up to one of the panel discussions, and he said, I'm going home. I'm a Republican. I really wanted to see Donald Trump speak tomorrow, and I'm disappointed. And and I was surprised. Did
you know the reason why Trump? I actually know the reason why. But do people at CPAC know the reason why Donald Trump backed out?
To be honest with you, the majority of them were sitting in on panels and discussions and talks. So maybe you can share with me why you think that Donald Trump is not going to be showing.
Well, the Cruz people were trying to coordinate a walkout on Donald Trump at CPAC.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and, I know a lot of people down there, and I know they were trying to coalesce and get Cruz people to, and they've done
I'm
that.
I'm a Cruz person, and I never heard any such thing like that. To be quite honest with you, I've promoted Trump from the very beginning, and I think like most conservative Republicans, we want to hear the issues. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear what kind of impact you're going to have on the country. And I think that most of them are level-headed.
Yeah, listen.
And to kind of lump it as this kind of divide is unfair.
You're right. You're listening to.
There's a big
Hold on, Mr.
on
Pinko.
Twitter that.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, Mr. Pinko. I got to do a station identification. You're listening to the Salama Majority here on New Media Patriot Radio. The number to call is 347-338-1775. And on the Rebooting Liberty hotline, I have my co-host, Mr. Pinko, and live from CPAC, I have Erin Cruz, who is a Cruz supporter. I guess because she's related to him or something. I don't know. I'm just joking. But
no,
I know. So go ahead. Finish your thought, Mr. Pinko.
Yeah, I don't know. I was asking, I said, because on Twitter there's a huge presence. They're trying to make it. It's a huge presence of this Never Trump hashtag. And, the Eric Erickson from Red State is the one who created it. And you have Jonah Goldberg, and, pretty big people following that they painted themselves in a corner, in my opinion.
Well,
saying, Go ahead.
Well, I think that's a Twitter thing, and to be quite honest with you, the more you bite on it, the bigger it'll grow.
That's a good one.
But
I like that.
I think most conservative Republicans are conservative, and they hold true to their values, and they don't behave in that fashion. Okay, so, and I think the best way to kind of combat that Never Trump or Never Cruz or Never Rubio is, look, it's the primary. Let's all discuss the issues. Let's vote for our guy, and then let's rally behind the one that needs to be, that's on the ticket.
Well,
and let's beat the Clinton. Let's beat the Bernie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, listen, this is my problem, Erin, because I really felt for the supporters that actually paid money to go down there to see Donald Trump, and now they're not going to see him. It's almost like going to a sporting event and having your ball player, sitting out because he's got a little headache. It's just like you have to show up. You have to show up to the game.
You're going to be president. You're going to be president of the United States. You make a commitment.
Right.
You follow through.
I was looking, and he says he had a campaigning arrangements or something like that. But the fact of the matter that the other candidates are going to be there, I think he should have been there. To be quite honest,
and there was another candidate that wasn't there today, and that's Rubio, and I hear he's supposed to be there tomorrow. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all pans out.
Yeah. Well, listen, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, I was just going to say, we just have to see it all pan out. But to be quite honest with you, to say that the never Trump, right, or the never Cruz or the never Rubio, that it's making that much of an impact, I think that's pretty far-fetched.
No, you're right. You're absolutely
for Trump not to show up.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And like I said, I'm a Trump and Ted Cruz supporter, but I'm more critical of Ted Cruz because he's been on a team for how long now, and Donald Trump hasn't. So I give him a little bit of a leeway. But ultimately, those are my two candidates. But you're absolutely right. We have to stay together. And all you keep hearing,
right? We have to stay united.
All you keep hearing in the media, on conservative talk radio is Donald Trump and Ted Cruz need to bury the hatchet now, because if it wasn't for Donald Trump, they would be pulling the same stops on Ted Cruz. We need to unite, as we're going to need each other, because we don't want a Rubio in there. Trust me.
Right.
We don't want a Rubio. Ted Cruz has his own little.
We don't want a Clinton.
Yeah, we don't want a Clinton.
Want a Bernie.
And we don't want a Rubio. So, it is. Right. It is what it is, but I'm absolutely upset that there's a divide down there, and it shouldn't be. We should stick together. But I want to thank you for calling in, Erin.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
Erin Cruz, live from CPAC. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Erin. Bye.
So there you have it, Mr. Pinko. It's 2 people. It's 2-1. It's 2-1. 2 people say it's divided, and 1 person says it's not. So I don't know who to believe. Who do you believe?
Yeah, but I think you gotta go by. Who they support also, because they come in from a perspective. I mean, Erin is giving me kind of hope, with her report.
Right. I have a caller here. I have Alistair from Mr. Pinko, from Legal Indirection. You know who that person is?
Who is it?
Alistair from for Mr. Pinko. It says for legal.
All right. She might have a question.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to the Salama Majority here on New Media Patriot Radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to Alistair?
Yes, I'm talking to Alistair. How are you, sir? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good. How are you?
Where are you calling from?
It's Alistair.
Alistair.
I'm a writer for Legal Insurrection.
Oh, cool. Mr. Pinko, you know who that is?
Cool. Yes, I do. Yes.
All right. What's your question?
Very familiar. He's very familiar with I Own the World. Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Pinko?
Excellent. It's so good to hear from you.
No problem. I actually had just finished writing a post for Legal Insurrection, and I decided to check in on Twitter, and that's how I found out about the show, because I saw somebody had tweeted the information about it, and I even went down looking for you guys on Media Row, but I couldn't find you.
Oh,
I'm actually not at CPAC right now.
Yeah, the reason why I said we're live from CPAC is because I had 3 reporters call from down there. I have my minion reporters that report back to me. No, but I'm just joking. But that's why I said live from CPAC, because I had 3 callers earlier in the show call in and give us a report as to what's happening down there. Are you currently down at CPAC? Obviously you are.
Yeah.
Obviously you are. What's going on down there? They're saying a couple of callers called in and they said there's a divide between.
Chris, let me cut you. Chris.
What's up?
Let me cut you off. Don't. Let's not lead Alistair. Let's just get his view of what's going on down there.
Sure, go ahead. What's going on down there?
I'm sorry to do that to you.
Sure,
but go ahead. Alistair, what's going on at CPAC?
CPAC is the same as it always has been, in terms of like the people that you see in the events that are going on. But the big event this weekend was the debate last night. Town Hall Media and Salem Communications did a sort of main event in the main convention hall where they had a panel talk about the debate or talk about what they expected out of the debate before it started, and then they broadcast the debate live for a live audience. And I didn't go, but from what I understand, it was a big, giant anti-Trump fest.
Really? Yeah.
And that was sort of the buzz afterwards, and that's part of the reason why I didn't go. I've always sort of had an agnostic view. I mean, I wouldn't call myself like a huge Trump supporter, but I'm not anti-Trump. I will happily back him if he's the nominee.
Right. I have another question. I'm sorry I'm hijacking your show, Chris.
Oh, go ahead. Go right ahead. This is what this is about. Go ahead.
So, Alistair, do you see a big presence of the Never Trump, this hashtag Never Trump crowd? Do you see a big presence of that? No, I don't see people. Nobody's like carrying around signs that say "Down with Trump." What I'm seeing is the whispering of the cocktail party class. The sort of the inner party, the inner clique. The folks of the inner clique are having a good time, reassuring themselves that Trump is horrible and that the world will end if he's the GOP nominee.
That's pretty funny. But,
Did you hear part of the show, Alistair, when I stated that you've been in this for years? I know you. I never met you personally, but we know of each other for many years. And we were guys where we wanted to topple the GOP establishment. We bitched and moaned about it for years that we have to, tear down this establishment, that's running us and ruling us. And now we have it in Donald Trump. And I think we're separating the men from the boys with this type of situation. I know Trump's not the perfect guy to do this, but I think he's the perfect guy.
He's the perfect, basically, he's the imperfect instrument at this time, to tackle this. Really quick, give a response to it in 30 seconds. I have another caller on the line.
Okay, I have two quick things to say.
Sure.
First of all, Mr. Pinko is right. The same people who insisted that the only person who could win in 2008 was John McCain and the only person who could win in 2012 was Mitt Romney are now telling us that there's absolutely no way that Donald Trump can win in 2016. So that's number one.
Exactly.
And number two, I will tell you, is that I am from Massachusetts, true blue Massachusetts.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, there is massive support for Trump in Massachusetts. And if he can win a state if he can turn Massachusetts red, he can win in a general election.
Wow.
Well, he could turn Massachusetts red. He could turn New York red.
Yes.
There's a number of states that were true blue that could turn red with Donald Trump. Do me a favor. Oh, this is the other thing. I see you're like Big Fur. Yeah, I'm trying to make it quick. Big Fur Hat, Eye on the World, has endorsed Ted Cruz, kind of reluctantly and everything. And he's both, either for both candidates, either way, he's happily, endorsing, going to be behind them. Alistair, do you feel that you should slap these people on the head that the no Trump or I'm sitting out babies, that you should be slapping them in the head and think about it, because you're really campaigning for Hillary Clinton when you do that? What do you say quickly? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think we just have to allow this to work itself out like a bad cold.
Yes, I agree.
I think that if Trump is the nominee, I think a lot of people are going to be really angry, but I think that there will be enough time between then and the general election for the virus to work itself out of our system.
Awesome. Thank you for calling, Alistair. I have another call on the line, but thank you for calling.